My brother's fiance said her ex-husband passed away, but I found him alive on Instagram.
He's alive!
I, 24 female, don't even know where to start. For as long as I can remember, my brother, 35 male, has been the golden boy, and I have been the screw-up. I am obviously an accident. I had some difficulties in school, and by the time I came around, my parents were peaking in their careers and too busy for me. He was also too old to hang out with me, so I was kind of just there. By the way, this comes from user Eat a Moon Pie. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKstorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, guys. We don't have all the answers to life's problems. We only know a little bit. Put what you know in the comments. About 2 years ago, Golden Boy introduced us to his girlfriend, Sarah, 32-ish, female. Not her real name. She is beautiful and tall and tragic. Exactly my brother's type. Sarah said she was previously married, but her husband in his 30s, male, suddenly passed away from a rare heart condition. Basically, he passed away at like 28 or 29. In the aftermath, she left her home state, went no contact with her family and old friends. My brother says they were harmful during of grief. She moved across the country and reinvented herself. This was about 4 years ago. Immediately, I did not like her. She seemed fake. It was just a vibe thing that I could not vocalize, but also did not really matter because my parents loved Sarah. Like the moment they met her, they started including her in family vacations and birthday dinners. And within a few months, my mom was saying things like, I think she's the one for your brother. Sarah has no social media. She has a super unusual last name. And over the past 2 years, I've Googled her from time to time. Some recent stuff comes up, mostly related to her job, but nothing from before her move. Nothing related to her husband comes up at all. Nothing. She is also cagey and weird about him. If you ask anything about what he was like or even his name, she gets teary and then Goldie jumps in. They got engaged a few months ago, so every conversation right now is about wedding planning. Sarah has very few friends, none from her past life, so I'm in the bridal party with some of their mutual friends. We went bridesmaid dress shopping a few weeks ago, and I went to Venmo her payment for my dress. And then I was like, I wonder how far back this goes. Pretty effing far. Most of the payments were between her and my brother, and a hairstylist and a nail artist. But I saw one Venmo from a guy that looked like it was for living expenses. When I Googled him, I found his Instagram, and on his Instagram, I found a wedding photo from 2017. In that wedding photo, he was the groom and Sarah was the bride. And that dude is still alive.
Whoa!
Yeah, like very alive. He posted 3 days ago. He's remarried with kids. I found her siblings, her old maiden name, and her whole old life once I found her ex's account. So I don't know what to do. Part of me is like, maybe the relationship ended badly, and that's why she goes around saying that he passed away. Part of me is like, maybe she's in witness protection, though she is screwed if she is, because I eventually found her. Part of me is like, do I need to tell my brother? Do I tell her? Like, pull her aside and be like, hey, sis, what's up? I screenshotted everything, so I have proof. I just don't know if I should sit on it or tell someone. And we do have some comments here from OP, but yeah, I do think I would bring this up to my brother and be like, hey, so just so you know how your like fiance's like past partner like tragically passed away? He didn't. He's alive. That's a lot. Yeah. Unless it's a Frankenstein type situation.
That'd be cool.
He is most certainly alive and did not ever pass away. Low key, I want credit for figuring it out that she was lying, but it would definitely be messy. And there are some more thoughts here. What if she is a domestic mistreatment victim? He could have stalked her, so she ran and changed her name so he couldn't find her. What do you think you'd look like if your brother already knows this and you're outing a victim? Until you know for sure, you shouldn't assume anything. I think if I was the brother and this happened, I'd be like, hey, well, here's the truth, but thank you for, because optically from your perspective, it's like, yo, she's just like telling you like a deranged lie. Your feelings for your brother and family are skewing your judgment, in my opinion. OP says, that's a good point. I don't like her, but I don't want her to get hurt or put in danger. Plot twist, your brother knows she's not a widow and he's complicit in the lie. God knows mom and dad would be a bit less welcoming of a divorced woman. OP says, I could actually see that. My parents are traditional. I haven't seen any notices or RIP posts from her friends, so I think she just cut them off. It defaults to all of the transactions being public with a description and who you sent money to. Other people can't see how much you sent. You can make everything private, but most people I know have their Venmos public. The Venmo was from like 5 years ago. On the relationship, it's cordial. It's not warm and fuzzy with them, and they're not warm and fuzzy with me. I'm just in the bridal party because it would embarrass my mom if I wasn't. Somebody suggested to look up divorces and criminal history in the court system. That's a good idea. I know what states she's from, so I'll see what's available there. And there's an update 4 days later.
I hope the brother knows and they have a good conversation about it and get to the bottom of this pit.
Just imagine she looks up the criminal history and it's just like fraud, arson, like
Fake
money
marriage.
laundering. Thanks to everyone for their thoughts on my last post. Also, some of you guys are wild and I love that for you. I felt really affirmed by a lot of the comments that 1, I shouldn't involve my parents at all, and 2, she might have a tragic reason for changing everything in her life or be a victim, so I shouldn't approach it like I'm happy to be stirring the pot. I ended up texting Golden Boy to ask if I could call him on Tuesday night. And when I called him, the freak put me on speaker because they were cooking, so I was like, F it. And I just told them everything about the Venmo, the husband's Instagram, etc. I framed it like, I'm nosy and I don't care, but wanted to say something in case Golden Boy didn't know, or you both don't want other people to find this. And Goldie was like, you're an idiot. Of course I know, because their marriage certificate will say that she's been married before. For a moment, I thought we were going to get into a fight, but honestly, Sarah kind of diffused it, and the 3 of us ended up talking for a few hours about Sarah's background, why she lied, me and Golden Boy's parents, and our relationship. I won't go into everything we talked about, but basically, Sarah grew up religious. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to disparage people in religion, but she said that it's closer to a cult than a real faith. I don't know enough about it to comment. Around 5 or 6 years ago, she started having doubts and eventually left it. Ooh, she had a cult marriage? She had a religious cult marriage?
That was not what I thought
No
was
way.
going to happen.
Dude, she got married and it was like, yeah, you're getting married because you're going to sire the next Messiah. Whoa.
Sire the next Messiah.
Whoa. Unfortunately, in this religion, if you leave, everyone is supposed to avoid you. Amish? So her family and friends stopped talking to her, and the relationship with her husband got really tense. She said she was the only person who could talk to her, but the love was gone. She felt like the church was trying to torment her back into joining, and that made her be like, F it, we ball. Like if every, like, yeah, good one, OP.
You know what? F it, we ball.
F it, we ball, dude. Like, if everyone's going to act like I'm passed away, I might as well start a new life. So she moved away, started dating, divorced her husband, and picked a new last name. She said at first she told people her background, but knowing about her old faith made people judge her and ask a lot of questions she wasn't comfortable with. So eventually, she just started telling people she was a widow because it was easier and it was how she felt. When she first met my brother, that's what she told him. She told him the truth a few months into dating. Golden Boy says they decided together to keep her background from my family for reasons that make a lot of sense considering the type of people my parents are. And by the way, all you people can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. All you gotta do, search OK Storytime.
That worked out. I'm glad that Sarah and Golden Boy had that convo because then it wasn't real awkward when it came time to like spill.
I need OP to take a chill pill as well.
Yeah, I think OP did not handle this well.
Yeah, that could have gone way worse.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if it's just like the relationship or something, but like that could have gone like off the rails real quick.
Like you don't want to make a potential revelation like on speakerphone with the person who you are talking about.
Right?
That feels like an
Like-
in-person conversation to have.
Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I think you could still just talk to your brother
Yeah.
on the phone. And it's just like, I'm bringing this up. And he goes, yeah, I already know. It's okay. It's a whole thing. We could talk about it later. But she's not psycho. Ultimately, I am glad I told them. For the first time, maybe ever, I feel like I'm part of something with my brother. It's weird, but kind of nice. One convo won't undo the past 24 years of our relationship, but I feel bad for underestimating him and writing her off. It's not his fault that he's 100,000 years old and that our parents kind of suck. We had a nice Christmas together and I could tell they both were trying to engage me more than usual. Maybe because they have some respect for me. Maybe because they're scared. But either way, I feel a little seen by them and I feel like I see them more. Thanks again. Make sure your Venmos are set to private, everybody. And that is the end
No.
of that story.
I will always keep mine public. What I have to say is everyone's business.
Yeah,
Mine's
That's why-
private.
I'm sure mine's public. I always try to make every transaction I do as funny as possible.
Same. Mine are so funny.
Like,
I want to share that with the world. Everyone deserves to see how funny I am.
We pay our internet bills to Spectrum,
Yeah.
and every time I pay for the internet, my tag is on the Spectrum.
I refuse to attend the Christmas dinner because my father is bringing his new girlfriend.
Yeah, and I'm bringing Santa, and he's giving everyone coal.
Trigger warning. Emotional mistreatment. Hello. I'm female 21, and my dad left my mom 3 years ago. Whatever, people separate. I'm okay with it, especially since my dad wasn't being the best husband to my mom or father to his kids anymore. I'm the middle child between two boys. Once we were old enough to take care of ourselves, my dad checked out and started to focus on himself more, leaving my mom to do most of the parenting and emotional support. By the way, this comes from Large Drummer 958, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit. I am Savannah.
I am Dakota.
I'm Carly.
And we are here to give some good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We'd only tell you what we would do in this situation, but we would love to know what you would do in the comments. He wasn't the most present dad when I was younger, but he would be the one cooking us dinner and planning camping trips in the summer and buying us Christmas gifts. However, my mom really loved him and was really hurt when he left. He said he didn't love her anymore and wanted to be single. Except he got a girlfriend within a year of ending things. And the kicker? She was the woman my mom was worried about when they were together.
Oh no, okay, that's less normal. I don't like that at all. That's really bad.
Oh no, oh no, oh no.
Your dad's like, I want to be single for a little bit until I date this other lady that you are worried about.
I'll call her Rebecca. Originally, I believed my dad when he said he wanted to be single and how he fell out of love with my mom. But my mom received text from Rebecca's ex with screenshots of text between my dad and Rebecca. I didn't see them, but my mom was confident my dad cheated on her after seeing those texts. So when she told me and my siblings, I believed her because there's no way she would tell us unless she was sure. She wouldn't want us to be hurt otherwise. So I confronted my dad in front of my older brother. My brothers don't know what to believe. They don't want to know details. I said it was a small town we lived in and word gets around and that I heard he cheated. He didn't deny it immediately, but said he couldn't control what I believed. I then told him screenshots of texts were shared with me. Remember, I didn't see them. Between him and Rebecca, when he was with my mom, sent from Rebecca's ex, my dad started bashing Rebecca's ex, saying he was crazy and trying to stir stuff up. I don't know about you, but that sounded sus. That conversation happened 2 years ago. It's been 3 years total since my parents separated. They still aren't legally divorced because some paperwork hasn't been done. My dad claims he hasn't been with another woman until he divorced my mom. But if we want to get to the nitty-gritty, he still isn't divorced. Anyway, me and my brothers aren't comfortable meeting this new woman yet. Yes, it's been 3 years, but at the same time, it's only been 3 years. It's still not clear whether or not he cheated still. My dad has been trying to bring Rebecca around to meet us, but I'm not comfortable yet. With Christmas time coming, he'd ask us to get comfortable with the idea of her being at the family Christmas dinner, where my extended family will be too. I told him that I'm glad he's happy with a new woman, but I want to keep Christmas just family, and Rebecca isn't family to me. I personally think this is a fair request since he lives with her and will have his own Christmas with her. His argument is that Rebecca is part of his life and he wants her to be welcomed at family events. I told him, what about his kids? What if they didn't want her there? We get one Christmas a year where everyone is under the same roof. We don't want Rebecca there. Again, he said that if we loved him, he would expect us to accommodate his new love. He's asking for unconditional love. But as I get older, I don't think I can provide him with that anymore, especially when reflecting on my childhood.
You don't have to, it's like, that has nothing to do with unconditional love. You're just like, I'm never going to accept the woman you left our mother for, so don't bring her to Christmas.
Mind you, my mom doesn't come to these family events because it's all my dad's side of the family. My mom's is scattered and doesn't celebrate together, so she lost that big family dinner on Christmas when my dad left. To make it really clear to him, because if I give him an inch, he will go a mile. I told him if he's bringing Rebecca, then I won't go because I'm not ready to meet her yet. He said he wouldn't place that burden on me and find other arrangements. I remember that so clearly because I thought it was weird wording. Come today, he texted me that he's bringing Rebecca to dinner. In his text, he said, I'm trusting you can make your own decision about how you're going to react to this happening. So he knows I'm not happy with it. I pointed out, he said he wouldn't burden me with this, but he said he didn't remember saying that. He offered for us to meet Rebecca beforehand for lunch or something at their place, but the whole thing just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I'm very angry at him, especially when I said I won't be at Christmas dinner if she's there. It feels like he chose her over me. There's a lot of history here too. I feel like my dad doesn't respect me anyway, new girlfriend or not. Many times he's yelled at me as a kid. One time I threw an apple core out of the window into bushes on the side of the highway and he yelled at me for that, lol. Little things like that would happen a lot. He also used to spank us as children, which my mom didn't like. He's a very angry man and can't handle his emotions. Many times I would help around the house and he would never say thanks, but when my brother picked up one sock, he would thank him. When I would explain to him how dismissive that felt or how unacknowledged I felt, he would joke it off and not take me seriously. Many times I would tell him something, and if my brothers would repeat it, he would recall them saying it, not me. I don't think he likes me, so him choosing to bring his girlfriend to dinner when he knew it made me and my brothers uncomfortable seems very disrespectful, but expected. I've talked with my aunt, who is hosting about it, and she's very understanding about my choice and disappointed in my dad for making his choice, despite his kids being uncomfortable. So am I the a-hole for sticking to my word and not going to dinner?
You told your dad what would happen, and he decided to be like, well, I'm going to test your resolve. And now you're like, hey, have fun. I hope you enjoy family dinner with whatever. Maybe she's a lovely lady. I don't want to disparage women. But I was going to call her a Victorian insult.
Thanks for everyone's responses. It's been an interesting week being home and being around my family. I'm much more angry and hurt about the situation compared to my brothers. Moving forward, I know we have different feelings about my dad and how we want to move forward with him. I'm more in the extreme end of things, where I don't feel the need to be close with him while my brothers have an active relationship with him. I'm not bothered by this because my issues with my dad are very isolated from my brothers and shouldn't impact their decision to have a good relationship with him. I have certain standards I want a father to be, and he isn't meeting them, impacting my feelings about how I interact with him. For example, I had an in-person conversation with my dad on the 23rd about how I felt about him bringing Rebecca to Christmas dinner, influencing his kid's decision not to go. And we just went in circles. Ultimately, he understands I'm angry, frustrated, and hurt, but no apology came with that acknowledgement. Besides, I'm sorry you feel that way.
Which is not an apology.
Yeah.
It's just telling someone it's their fault for having feelings.
I explained how that statement doesn't come off as remorseful. He said he isn't sorry for bringing his girlfriend to dinner and that he'll miss his kid's presence. I retorted with, we could be there, but you chose to bring her when you knew your kids weren't comfortable. That was met with, that's how you view the situation. So like I said, lots of circles. But we'll put you in a circle of love and respect. And you can listen to full episodes just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast app and just search OK Storytime. I suppose both of us have the right to feel the way we do, but my feelings are just so hurt with him deciding to bring his girlfriend when his kids aren't comfortable.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
Hold on, wait. Cassandra said that the ex-wife isn't invited. Oh, so this is so this is like his family's Christmas gathering on his side of the family?
Not the lock-in!
What the heck? Okay, well...
Whoa. Wait, I understand.
If your mom's not involved, then maybe I don't know. That changes things. I don't know what I thought anymore, man. When did they say that? I remember hearing that
Yeah.
it was the slugs.
I will also blame those slugs.
I'm taking all those.
No.
slugs from you.
No.
eat my slug.
They're fine. They're right over here.
Yeah, look at them.
But
If Savannah pulls another one out, I'm taking.
There is another one over here, but
I know.
I will just look and not touch, which is so hard for me. I can't go to museums.
Okay. Now this all changes for me now because I thought that your mom was going to be there. And if she was there, then you wouldn't want to make things weird with his new wife because then that's just going to be a more emotional strain on your mom. But if she's not already going to be there, then you missed a perfect opportunity to show up and make things weird. That would have been great.
But now...
Not if it emotionally strained your mom, but if she's not there, it can't emotionally strain your mom. So it would have been great to show up and been like, yeah, so like, what's it like, cheating on your spouse?
So... basically, it's going to be like, I'm going to go to Daddy's Christmas, but I'm not going to go to Daddy's Christmas.
I thought
I have so much more in
you
my
should
head.
have gone to
What
you should have gone to Daddy Christmas and you should have immediately been like, so crazy how you guys got together, right? So crazy how you guys got together while you were still married to other people. What does that feel like? Would have been a great opportunity.
I'm just going to get back to the story. I just don't feel acknowledged or like my dad put any effort into trying to understand my point of view besides knowing how I feel. As for Christmas, my brothers and I played games with my mom on the 24th and we visited with some close family friends that have no relation to my dad. Christmas morning was spent at my mom's with a big breakfast and some until we paused so the kids could visit with my grandparents and my dad for an hour in town without Rebecca, and came back to the festivities at my mom's for the rest of the day. I mostly focused on my grandparents during our visit in town. The whole situation with my dad felt too fresh for me to interact with him properly. With the day filled with my brothers and my mom, I feel very happy with how things went. Oh, so they didn't go.
There you go.
Okay, so
There
they
you
just
go.
didn't go.
It worked out. It worked out.
You know what? It worked out.
I stood up to my mother for my fiancé, and the police got involved. Wee woo! Wee woo! And there is a trigger warning for a physical altercation. I've been saving this story for a while and thought people would enjoy it. Some backstory. My now fiancé, 29 male, and I, 25 female, met online through a friend and had known each other for a while. I was with someone else when we met, but I left that person and eventually confessed to my fiancé that I had a crush on him for a bit. From that day, we started dating and have been together since. By the way, this comes from user Ember Nightwitch 0515. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/okstorytime subreddit where this story was submitted. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers to everything in life. We only know what we know. So if you know what we don't know, tell us in the comments. A few months later, I was planning a trip to see him as he lived in a different state. While planning, he had some problems at home, including a raccoon coming through the ceiling. We decided that he would move to my state. I was still living with my mother, 57 female, at the time, and she had talked to him a few times to get to know him. I asked her if she would be okay with him moving in with us, and I never pressured her. I gave her multiple chances to say no, but she agreed, and he was aware and respected that. During the trip, my mother guilt-tripped me into coming with her. We went down, met my fiancé, and everything went great. I met his family and his friends. We packed his few possessions into my car and drove back home. The state and city he came from was rough, filled with substance problems, booze, weapons, and gangs. Despite this, he is a very good man who loves me wholeheartedly, treats me like a queen, and encourages me to be the best I can be. That said, he does have a temper and can be rough around the edges, sometimes saying things he shouldn't. We lived together for 2 years just fine, but in the 3rd year, he and my mother began butting heads, leading to screaming fights. My mother has her own issues. She has only one good friend and lets others walk over her and mostly works, watches TV, and smokes. I'm her only child, and she's told me to my face that she didn't want a kid because she was busy taking care of other people's children.
Well, that's a choice
interesting.
you made, Mom.
Yet, she uses me as a trophy, emotionally and mentally traumatizing me. I have tried setting boundaries with her in the past, but she makes herself the victim and becomes neglectful whenever a man gives her attention. The incident at hand occurred in May last year. My mother reconnected with a man, 59 male, who we'll call Seth, whom she hadn't seen since high school, about 40 years. Within days, they were dating, and within 2 weeks, she asked him to move in for just a month. My fiancé and I were uncomfortable, but I said yes since she agreed to let him move in. Moments after I said yes, she laughed and said she didn't know why she bothered asking since it was her house, even though all 3 of us paid rent. I wanted a new lock on my bedroom and bathroom doors because my fiancé worked 3rd shift and I was afraid to be alone. My mother suggested a small hook lock, but I bought a proper keyed lock myself so that only my fiancé and I could enter. Meanwhile, my coworkers helped me look up Seth's criminal record, which my mother had not shared. His record spanned from 1989 to 2017, including battery, reckless endangerment, disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, violating restraining orders, and destruction of property. I confronted my mother, telling her I didn't feel safe with him in the house. She tried turning it on me and my fiancé, saying she didn't feel safe with him because he had once taken a small amount of the devil's lettuce from her, which I scolded him for, and he never did it again. She tried to make us look unreasonable and wrong. I eventually gave up arguing and instead focused on getting our own car and finding a new apartment. By July, everything was set, though Seth had still overstayed the 1 month, and the landlord, my aunt, didn't intervene. The Thursday after signing the lease, we picked up our new roommate and began moving. My mother and Seth were out, so I moved our 2 cats, which was difficult because she had hidden their carriers. While packing, my mother stormed in and demanded the TV and AC unit. My fiancé explained what she wanted and what she would actually get were 2 different things. She snapped, and physically attacked him. He pushed her off him and eventually got her into the dining room, where she stumbled and fell into the table. I was in shock and had to jump over boxes to get out of the door. My mother finally gave up and said she was calling the police. She went to my aunt and called them while we kept packing and waited. When the police arrived, they separated us and had us each give statements. I was very emotional, but we cooperated fully. The police conducted a mandatory arrest, and my fiancé went willingly. I grabbed a few boxes and returned to our new apartment, crying and explaining what happened to our roommate. By that time, my mother had already spread her version of events, and I was receiving nasty calls and texts from family members. I didn't have money for bail, and none of my family helped. My fiancé was in jail for 3 hours before a coworker bailed him out. So, what did you guys tell the police? It should have just been like, yeah, we got in an argument and then she jumped on him and attacked him. Why is he getting arrested for being attacked? My mother then obtained a no contact order followed by a restraining order against him, claiming she was both in fear and not in fear. She also tried to use it to take our cats. Her evidence included a meme he posted unrelated to her and bruising on her arm, which she falsely claimed he caused. I had her on recording admitting the bruises were from me. At the hearing, the judge ruled in favor of a 4-year restraining order, but noted there was no proof for her claims. What are you doing, Judge?
There's no
She's
proofs,
like,
but I'm just going to go ahead and just put this right here.
I'm making him from Boston. He's like, look, I was on a wicked bender last night, and I didn't hear a word you said, but I'm going to give you 4 years, and
To figure this out.
I don't know. You got no evidence, but I literally can't hear anything over the sound of the blood rushing past my eardrums. So get out of my courtroom. He also ruled the cats were property, meaning she could only pursue them in small claims court. The DA declined to pursue charges, so my fiancé got no record. Retrieving our property was difficult as the locks were changed, and she demanded the cats in exchange for our belongings. Thankfully, our roommate and coworkers helped us recover most items. I didn't hear from my mother until January, when she left a voicemail crying and apologizing. She periodically sends messages claiming she misses me, trying to guilt me into talking. She also attempted to use my father to convince me, but he refused. This past summer, we discovered through CCAP that Seth was the culprit behind further legal issues, receiving 7 additional charges. Well, he's just racking them up. He's going for the record.
Yeah, for real. I mean, what has this guy not done?
I still refused to talk to her, and some family members who took her side. I remain friendly with men and younger family members, but no one has asked for my side. And when I tried, my aunt shut me down, saying I was lying. But I ain't lying when I tell you. You can listen to full episodes of stories like this one on your favorite podcast platforms like iHeartRadio, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime. And there's a little bit left of this story. But yeah, I think clearly your mom's got a little bit of a degenerate streak in her. I think maybe if you were to have any contact with her, it would probably be best to do it in writing. My fiance encouraged me to hear her out and express my feelings while setting boundaries. I just cannot trust her to follow those boundaries given her history. I can't risk giving her an inch and having her take a mile. My safety and emotional well-being are my priority, and I will not compromise on that. I've talked to many coworkers, many of whom are parents themselves, and they're all disgusted and in disbelief by what my mother did. I'm pretty certain I'm not in the wrong, and I'm posting this more for entertainment than anything, but I'll still enjoy seeing the responses. And that is the end of that story.
I would say just go no contact. There's really no reason to like stay in it. You know, like what are you gonna get out of it? It's just gonna be like, it seems like it's always gonna be an argument. Someone's always gonna want something. It's always like a, you know, not even like a give and take. It just seems like it's more of a take. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think just anything, anything written down would be probably the best way if you were to want like closure or like, put something out there. Fun thing you can do though, since your mom, if you don't want to go that route and you want to be a little mischievous, since your mom wanted your cat so bad, you can go around her house and throw cat food around the perimeter. And then she can have a bunch of really fun feral cats congregating at her private domicile.